It is kinda shocking that to date, no African side has won the World Cup. The closest an African nation got to getting all the glory was back in the 2010 World Cup, where Ghana reached the quarterfinals of the competition only to see their hearts broken mercilessly by a vile and shocking act by Luis Suarez. Following that game, the wait goes on for Africa to fulfill the prophecy and create history. So far, only 3 countries have reached the quarterfinals of the competition, and with just a few months left in Qatar 2022, the continent can dream once again. Africa has provided us some amazing moments in the World Cup, and this time around, we're sure to see some fireworks from the likes of Cameroon, Ghana, and Senegal, with the latter expected to hold their own against the European and South American giants. Former France international Frank Leboeuf, who won the World Cup with Les Bleus back in 1998, believes that one African nation in particular has a chance of going all the way. Senegal is for me one of the favorites of the World Cup. They could go very, very far. I really think that they can win the World Cup. So today, we're going to talk about which African nation has the best chance to make history at Qatar 2022. Don't forget to comment your prediction in our comment section. Cameroon. Managed by former player Rigobert Song, Cameroon might be in it for a trial by fire. The indomitable Lions will be competing for a place in the round of 16 with the likes of Switzerland, Serbia, and favorites Brazil. The South Americans are everyone's favorites to top the group and even go all the way. This leaves the African giants with the rather unenviable task of getting the better of Switzerland and Serbia. However, Song has some really good talent to call upon. Andre Onana is one of the finest goalkeepers in the game today, while young forward Karl Toko Ekambi has started life at Olympique Lyon brightly. This isn't a team that is blessed with star power, but they are definitely a very cohesive unit. Although no one expects them to be springing surprises here and there, expect Cameroon to hold their own against any nation if they manage to qualify for the tournament's knockout rounds. Morocco. The Atlas Lions always look like a team that can cause serious damage. But the reality is that the North African nation has always been slightly disappointing when it comes to fighting it out with the best in the world. Their best World Cup campaign was the one in 1986 when they reached the second round. Since then, it has been a forgettable experience. This time around, though, they do play with a swagger that makes us see a bright future for Vahid Halilohozic's side. Morocco are loaded with talent and experience this time around. Yassine Bounou is the number 1 at Seville, where Achraf Hakimi has been amazing in Europe in the last 3 years. Romain Saiss was such a big star in the Premier League during the 2021-22 campaign. Munir El Haddadi, Sofiane Boufal, and Youssef El Nesri have been in great form this year, while sky is the limit for young Abde El Zazouli. The same goes for Nasser Mazraoui, who shone at Ajax for 4 years before earning a move to Bayern Munich, where he is more than just a bench warmer. This is a team that can spring a few surprises in a group that contains last World Cup's finalists Croatia, perennial dark horses Belgium, and rising giants of North America, Canada. This isn't an easy group to be a part of, but you can expect the Moroccans to give it their all. Tunisia. The Tunisians have never made it through the group stages of the 6 World Cups they participated in, and Jalel Kadri would love to change that. The Eagles of Carthage have a mountain to climb in a group that contains the reigning champions France, Australia, and Denmark. It is definitely not going to be an easy task. There will be a lot of responsibility on Wabi Kazri, who has a lot of experience playing in League One. Hannibal Mejbri was a star performer at the 2021 Arab Cup, but the Manchester United midfielder is still too inexperienced to be expected to be a consistent performer. We don't see them going that far. Ghana. The Black Stars have featured in 4 World Cups, but nothing beats their memorable run at the 2010 World Cup, where they did their continent proud. While them crashing out was a heartbreaking moment, but they have a shot at redemption this time around. Otto Addo's men have been thrown in a tough group containing Portugal, South Korea, and yes, the Uruguayans. Ghanaian fans would definitely want their boys to do well against the South Americans and make them pay for what their star player did 12 years ago. However, the likes of Portugal and South Korea are not to be taken lightly. The group is definitely a tough one, but if the Black Stars do make it out of it, there's no telling how deep they would go in the tournament. Senegal. This time around, Senegal will be most people's favorites. While Egypt and Mohamed Salah got all the plaudits in recent years without achieving much, it was the Lions of Teranga who were doing all the right work, such as lifting the African Cup of Nations. Aliou Cisse might not be a very well-known name in Europe, but the former player is one of the best tacticians in the game. While he is a relatively young coach, Cisse has managed to get the best out of a talented group of players he has at his disposal. Senegal had a memorable World Cup debut in 2002 when they beat France in the opening game of the competition, and all the hard work done by late manager Bruno Metsu is now there for everyone to see. It was Metsu who laid down the foundations of making Senegal a giant in Africa, and perhaps it is Cisse who's going to take his country one step further. Obviously, we don't need to talk about the talismanic presence of Sadio Mane, who is currently the best African player on the planet. The Bayern Munich man leads by example, and we expect him to continue to do so in Qatar. The presence of Chelsea's shot stopper Edouard Mendy is supplemented by the likes of Kalidou Koulibaly, Abdou Diallo, Bouna Sarr, and Salio Ciss. Idriss Gana Gueye is a one-man wrecking crew when on song. Up front, Sadio Mane is ably supported by Ismaila Sarr and Boulaye Dia. Senegal are in Group A, where they will face Netherlands, Qatar, and Ecuador. We expect them to qualify for the next round, and this is where their talent will be tested to the limited. But if there's one African team that has the capacity to go all the way, it is the Lions of Teranga. So don't be surprised if they make some sort of history in the Middle East. So guys, this was our take on the nations that can make Africa proud in Qatar 2022. Let us know